Hey guys, welcome back to another video on F1 Hope, and today we're going to do my predictions for the 2024 Qatar Grand Prix. Oh yes, let's get into it. So now we have good surprise, and I'm going with Lewis Hamilton. Now I have to include Lewis Hamilton every single week, because whatever I say, it's the opposite. So I predict Lewis Hamilton would be pretty good, but he probably end up out in Q2. So I'm sorry in advance to any Lewis Hamilton fans out there, like myself actually. So you just know I'm giving him loads of pain. And Hamilton, I just think, is going to be good at this circuit because last year he threw away a front row. He went wide on his qualifying lap and obviously crashed in the race. He also was out in Q2 in the sprint, but came through in 5th. It seems like the type of circuit Mercedes would be competitive at, considering Ferrari certainly won't be. You know, I think Ferrari as a team won't be particularly strong around the circuit overall. So I think Lewis Hamilton and Mercedes actually have a shot at getting a podium. Now, of course, Lewis Hamilton in one lap this year has been extremely mediocre, and that continued in Las Vegas. Hamilton was mediocre there. Lewis Hamilton is so mediocre in one lap this year, it is actually getting pathetic for him, and obviously was 10th on the grid in Vegas. So bad flop, now I'm going for Carlos Sainz. And I think Ferrari as a whole aren't going to be competitive around the circuit. But I went for Carlos Sainz because he's the weak at the two Ferraris. I want to point out in this section how many times Carlos Sainz does actually crash. He crashed in Brazil, he crashed in Canada, and he does get involved in a lot of wheel-to-wheel contact with his teammate Charles Leclerc this year, which obviously was on the radio because Charles Leclerc was infuriated after Las Vegas. I think Sainz this year hasn't been the best Sainz we've seen, but potentially the best racer we've ever seen. I think Sainz this year has definitely been very harsh against his teammate, over the line and overstepping and being quite aggressive. But this is what you need to be in Formula One. You have to, be aggressive and forget about your team. Well, not forget about your team, but forget about your teammate in order to succeed. And Sainz has done brilliantly this year. You know, his peaks at the start of the year, the middle of the year, where he was out qualifying Leclerc, have been brilliant. But in Qatar, he'll struggle. And for sprint pole, I'm going for Oscar Piastri. I think Piastri will be good in sprint qualifying at the circuit. He took pole here last year, his first ever sprint pole or anything, and of course won the sprint itself, which I don't think he'll actually do, because I don't think there'll be so much changing the tyres as there were last year, where soft, mediums, hards were if you're on the softs you had a huge advantage over the mediums. I don't think that's going to happen this year. And I'm going to go for the sprint win and pole position as well, actually, for Lando Norris. I'm just going to say it out there. Yeah, I think he's going to get pole and win the sprint. I think winning the sprint won't be too hard. I actually think he'll get a good start and attack Piastri straight away. And I think since McLaren are going to be the class of the field, I don't think anyone else is going to be stopping them at all. Could be a McLaren domination this weekend. But to be honest, it's a track where you don't expect any excitement at. I'm going to, by the time this video's out, I'll probably put on YouTube saying that I don't actually like this track at all. I don't look forward to Qatar any year whatsoever. And to be honest with you, out of any track in Formula 1 that could go, I would pick this circuit. I know I'm going on a complete and utter tangent. But anyway, in third position, I'm going for Carlos Sainz, who I actually think will get a podium. Now, I was actually going to go for Charles Leclerc, but I decided just to go for someone else. And yeah, I went for the guy I predicted as bad flop. I actually don't realistically think he's going to get a podium, but I just think I had to pick someone else other than Charles Leclerc because I pick him all the time. So go for Carlos Sainz for once. But back to what I was saying before, I don't actually like the Losail circuit at all. In my opinion, it's the worst in the entire calendar, and I'd rather have Miami than the circuit. Now, of course, if this was a calendar, I'd get rid of Monaco and have 24 versions of this, but I still don't like this circuit at all, and it's never, it doesn't have anything at all to the calendar. At least you go to Monaco and you know it's all the glitz and glamour. In Qatar, it has nothing. In second place, I'm going for Oscar Piastri, who will get another podium and a return to the podium for the first time since the Singapore Grand Prix. I think you'll have a good weekend, Piastri. I just think Norris is going to be too unstoppable. I feel Norris this year, you want revenge. Unfortunately for us, I feel the Constructors is also going to be wrapped up thanks to Oscar Piastri's second place finish. And I think the duel for not second in the championship, fourth in the championship will go to Abu Dhabi, as well as the fight for second. But I think Lando Norris, with 21 points ahead of Charles Leclerc, with 1 round to spare, will wrap up a top 2 in the World Championship for the first time in Formula One after a year where he definitely should have won the championship, but isn't going to end up winning it at all. McLaren, of course, won the sprint last year, so I think if they can win the sprint against that mighty Red Bull, which surprisingly didn't actually win that sprint at all. That was a surprise, to be honest, looking back. 1.9 seconds between them at the flag, Piastri and Verstappen. But Norris threw away sprint pole and actual pole last year and threw away both wins as well. So can he get his revenge and redeem himself? Well, these are my predictions, so let me know down in the comment section below. What are your thoughts? Who's going to perform well in Qatar? Yes, the Las Vegas review isn't out yet, and I'll figure out if I'm going to actually do that or not, because it isn't recorded or anything, and I'll see you next time.